Hi, my name is Mackenzie Kunkel, and I'm currently a sophomore at Texas A&M. I'm looking forward to this semester with y'all. Firstly, the keyword I chose for this class was history. I chose this topic because history is actually my major, and it is something that I really enjoy and find a lot of passion in. I find history very interesting, and I especially love to see history throughout literature, which is what this class touches on, because it brings up perspectives that are not often seen and allows for multiple viewpoints about these certain topics, especially those that are often forgotten, such as the lower class or the people who are participated in genocide and stuff like that. History covers a broad spectrum of events that influences our lives more than we can imagine. I'm very passionate about history because, in my opinion, it has been very overlooked, especially in our generation, and I believe it is too important to not discuss and to not think about. It can help us make better decisions and further understand the world that we live in. It is a very interesting topic, and we could have a significantly more successful world if we touched on it more often. History and literature is especially influential because it has the power to change our viewpoints in a creative and imaginative way and make it easier for the world around us to understand. Secondly, I'm going to touch on a piece of literature that we haven't yet covered in class. I'm going to talk about the book Night by Elie Wiesel. This is one of my all-time favorite books. I read it in high school, and it really stuck with me. It discusses the Auschwitz concentration camp and the experiences within it, especially the experience of families, because it discusses a young boy and his father throughout this time. History is touched on in this book not only because it discusses the Holocaust and the tragic events of this time in World War I, but it also touches on World War I and the aspects leading to World War II and how history could have been used differently to create an outcome with significantly less casualties, and talks about the what-ifs of this era. This book shows a viewpoint of a kid who lost essentially everything, reminding us that we kind of need to stand up for the people who do not have a voice. And the way that the book is written shows a completely different side to the brutality of the Holocaust that many books and articles never really touched before, which I found very interesting. Thirdly, history is a very difficult topic to integrate into current events. History is learning about the past and putting it towards making other decisions that will have better outcomes in the future. I would like to talk about history in the context of specifically the women's rights movement. History has shown great strides in the context of this, in the context of the women's rights movement, and it has helped women take further strides into equality and freedom. One current issue in the world today discusses the women who have written out the science textbooks and how they are being rewritten to include these influential women. This is a very important issue because many people do not know about it, and it shows how far the world, and especially the United States, has come in the ways of equality and how much of a hold history has on the present, even though we might not recognize that. Women have gained so much influence, and although it has been overshadowed by the current government shutdown and other problems that have happened, this is a huge step in historical and current events in our time, and is something that should definitely be discussed. Although there are still many incredible scientists, historians, engineers, architects, teachers, journalists, etc., that are not yet given the credit that they deserve, this is still a very big step for this current event and has the power to impact our generation in great ways. Thank you.